Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sports Shorts Daily. Ronnie Rance alongside Tommy Chrysan, TK over at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood in Baton Rouge, right off Airline Highway by Parkview Baptist. I am at an undisclosed location presented by Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. Check it out at lasportshall.com. And this show and all shows, radio and everything, are presented by La Bears Casino, the place to be on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday night at the Edge Lounge on the casino floor. If you want to go have a little great entertainment, 18 steak, and of course Barstool Sportsbook, which will be changed. The name will be changed soon in a few weeks. They're looking at changing it to ESPN Bet. But right now, go to Barstool Sportsbook and check out all the great eats and drinks and a great place to watch all the games. It was a fun place to watch the game in the fourth quarter until it wasn't last night when the Saints lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars. The question going into the game, Tommy, would Lawrence play? If he did play, he would have would he be hobbled because of the knee brace? The Saints playing, offensive line shuffle game. Guys hurt, guys playing different positions. How would that affect the offense, which has been inept for most of the year anyway? 24-9, Tennessee's on top after a pick six by Carr in the third quarter. You think it's absolutely over. And then all of a sudden the fourth quarter happens. They score 2 touchdowns to tie it. But in typical Saints fashion, the problems that have done them in all year, and really going back to last year, even with the Red Rocket at quarterback, red zone offense, field goals instead of touchdowns, and they don't get it done with a 1st and goal inside the 10. Saints lose instead of tying it and going to overtime.
Yeah, another tough loss. Saints were 2-0. They've lost 4 of their last 5. And the third down conversions last night was like 2 or 3 out of 18. It was terrible. Something's wrong with the offense, and I guess there's a lot of places to point, whether that's the execution, the play calling, the players, the coaches. I mean, it's just not there like it needs to be in the NFL. The first 3 scores were field goals, okay? And we all know field goals will get you beat. You can't trade field goals for touchdowns. In spite of that, of course, they tied the game late, and that's all you could ask for. Have a chance in the fourth quarter. Somebody make a play, offense, defense, special teams, somebody do it. It didn't happen, and, of course, Morrow drops the touchdown. That ball's got to be caught. There's no other way to say that, and I know he feels bad about it. But then they had another play. That was on 3rd down, and still did not get it done. Derek Carr's numbers, pedestrian at best. I mean, 55 pass attempts. They play at the Colts, not this Sunday, but next Sunday, 9 days from now. They'll be at the Colts, who got quarterback issues. I mean, I don't know if they could find a way to win or not, but it was disappointing for Saints fans. They were 2-0. We and everybody else talked about the NFC South being a weak, division, and maybe just find a way to win that division. Well, now they've lost 4 out of 5, and it's just there's still time to do all of that, but man, it's just tough on the Saints fans, man. They were booing a lot last night in the Dome, expressing their frustrations, especially early with the field goals and the lack of conversions on 3rd down. It's just this team's a mess that they got to take these couple of days off to do whatever it takes. I mean, coaches are good at fixing things, or they're supposed to be. Anybody can coach when you're, 15-0. It's a little easier to coach. When things aren't going good, can you make the adjustments? Can you make the corrections? And everybody in the building's got to do that for the New Orleans Saints.
I want to talk about 2 things. One, I want to talk about Foster Moreau's drop. For those that are over the age of 50, you remember the Jackie Smith drop, the Dallas Cowboys tight end against the Steelers in the Super Bowl in 78, I believe, 78 or 79, and just, dropped it and could have won the game for him. And, of course, Jackie Smith, the Louisiana guy, Northwestern State guy.
Kentwood, he was from Kentwood.
Kentwood, yeah. I mean, great guy, had a great career, and unfortunately, a lot of people remember him for that moment, which was the biggest of his career. This was that for Foster Moreau. He had no defender within 3 yards of him. Hit off his hands. I thought he got his hands backwards, crisscrossed. He should have had him, turned, and instead he tried to basket catch it a little bit and hit off his hands. But and I can't stand the I'm not a big fan of the jump ball, okay? The 50-50 ball, the fade in the end zone, especially if it's not to somebody that's a smaller receiver. Olave's not a big receiver. It's not like you got Harold Carmichael out there or something, or Jimmy Graham. Okay, that makes sense. When to me, it's just like that's the best play we have, just a 50-50 ball. And I think the Saints need to do this, Tommy. When they get inside the 10-yard line and they have a first and goal situation, I don't care if it's first and goal at the 9, first and goal at the 3, whatever it is, that should be a Taysom Hill package the whole way through. Taysom Hill should be the quarterback until they get outside of the 10-yard line. If they're in that 10-yard line, then run everything goal line with Taysom Hill to where you have an extra blocker and you have the ability of a quarterback who runs like a running back to get you in there. Derek Carr is not doesn't he needs more space. He's not. I mean, that throw that he forced to throw earlier in the game that should have been intercepted with the Foster Moreau double coverage. It's like he got frustrated like a little kid and just said, "Well, I'm gonna throw it 100 miles an hour into an opening where there was nobody." The ball went up in the air and it almost got intercepted. And that was on the first touchdown when they got down there. They don't know what to do. Carr can't execute. They don't know they have the play package. Just freaking put Taysom Hill in there and let him run everything within the 10-yard line. I believe that's what's best.
Well, you put that in a group text that we're in last night, and I 100% agree because statistics show when Taysom Hill touches the ball many times, I forget the exact number, but if it's
7
like
or more.
20, yeah, if he touches it 7 or more, the Saints, their winning percentage is like enormous, like way above average. Okay, so I don't know why they won't do that, and it's just. But you hit the nail on the head in that group text last night. I mean, he should be in there. He can throw the ball if need be. He can roll out, run it. He can run a cornerback over. He can run some linebackers over. Carr can't do that. I mean, that should be automatic. 10-yard line in, like you said, no matter if it's a 9 or it's that far from the goal line. Put him in there and go with it. But we're not the coach. We're observations and we make comments. We've been doing it a long time. It's just
it's almost as if they don't want to hurt Carr's feelings. It's like, well, we gave him this big contract. He's our
hell with
quarterback.
that. It's about winning.
Right. But it's like they want to let him get his scores and they want to let him, it's like, wait a minute, we have to wait to put Taysom in there on 4th down to bail us out. We got to wait to get him in there. It's like he's a last resort when he should be a first resort. I mean, you put him on the edge with a run pass option, that is dangerous because even if there's nothing there, he's a tough enough runner to where he's going to, get something positive. He can put his head down. And look, he's done a very good job as a receiver role, tight end, filling in, with the lack of options at tight end. And he's just a baller, man. And they just need to recognize that and get him and Kamara the ball in their hands as often as they can. And I don't know what the hell's going on with Olave right now, Tommy, but this is 2 weeks in a row that there are plays that he just quit on. It's like the minute the defender makes it too difficult, he cuts off his route and just stops like a diva receiver.
Yeah, you can't do that. I've noticed that, and I've read commentary about that from people that cover the Saints on a daily basis. We're saying the same thing. So, it's again, you got a couple of extra days before the Colts. You got to figure a lot of things out in a hurry and fix it. These are NFL players. These are guys and NFL coaches, and they're not going to cut 10 guys and bring 10 in. There's no transfer portal. You got to figure it out very quickly. The Colts is a very winnable game. I'd suspect they'd be a slight favorite, even though it's on the road, because the Colts Richardson's out for the year. Their draft choice, first round draft choice and quarterback. So it's easy to say that they got to be flying home from Indianapolis with the W.
Look, they're 3-4. They've got 9 games left. I really believe, as frustrating as this team is, and if you were, what's that?
10 left.
Yeah. Okay. 10 left. They've got everything in front of them. The division is trash. I think the division winner, Tommy, I think 9 wins probably gets you a 9-8 record, probably gets you a division title. So they have the time to turn it around. They have the schedule to turn it around. Everything's ahead of them. But there's a part of me that believes they will. Carr is as frustrating as he is, he's not the worst quarterback in the world. We've had this discussion. We both agree he's probably a 15 to 20 quarterback in the NFL. So, in a terrible division with everybody else having quarterback problems and a defense that's decent, although they didn't live up to that last night, they can still turn this thing around. It's not that far gone. Although I think they do need to start bringing in some kickers and trying them out.
Well, and the defense didn't get it done last night, but we said this in August. Trevor Lawrence was the best quarterback on their schedule, especially up to now. And he wasn't 100%, but hey, he sucked it up. He got out there and he was out there with his teammates, and they found a way to get it done. I mean, he's a franchise quarterback, and I think his upside is tremendous. So the defense, I mean, you ran into a guy that had it going on, and you didn't get any help from the offense first 3 quarters of the game. It is what it is.
That's when and credit Jacksonville. I like them as a team. I like Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he showed a lot last night. I mean, he wore a knee brace for the first time in his career. He was in a building where he'd lost 2 games in college. He exercised those demons and made plays when he needed to, and it was very impressive. Let's talk LSU for a minute. The Tigers find themselves now a 32.5-point favorite. Depending on the line, you need to shop it around a little bit. But the cool thing is they're playing Army. Army's terrible. But what did you think of the camo end zones that they're going to have? The LSU's going with the camouflage end zones in honor of Army.
Well, pardon the pun, it's a salute to Army, okay? And it's like tipping your hat, whatever you want to call it, to Army and recognizing, as Coach Kelly said earlier in the week, I mean, to them guys, it's not all about football. It's about serving the country and keeping our freedom in place. And they happen to be football players. A handful of Louisiana guys on the team. I think it's a great gesture by LSU to go ahead and do that. And like you said, whenever one of the academies come in, we've seen Army come to Alex Box Stadium, Air Force, whatever. It is a little different. It's a little special. And hopefully the fans treat it that way Saturday. Homecoming, going to be a lot of people on campus that maybe don't come to a lot of games, or that's the one game a year they go to. So I like the end zones being painted.
Tomorrow, Sports Shorts Radio, we will be live over at the Bruley Walk-Ons tomorrow. Myself and Hunter McCann, TK will join us, Joe Davis, Jerry Beckwith. We'll be over there presented by LeBear's Casino. Also, Hunter will tell you plenty more about Gage, one of our great sponsors, we all think of Gage for, business phone lines and stuff, but they're the largest Cummins dealer in the area. That's the generators you need at your house so that when the power goes out, bam, you don't miss anything. You don't miss those games on TV. You don't miss that AC. So give Gage a call for that. But look, it's an opportunity for LSU to take care of business, keep moving forward. They've been, offensively, they've become one of the best offenses in the country. You're going to be 6-2 after this weekend with 2 weeks before the Alabama game. And then we get to talk about the chances of LSU winning over there, which this year is very good. I mean, Alabama's offense doesn't look like it at times can keep up with LSU's offense. It's just a question of, what happens in 2 weeks and how much LSU's defense improves.
Well, yeah, Alabama in the summertime, they were 7.5-point favorite over LSU in those summer lines that they put out. Now, Alabama plays Tennessee tomorrow at 2:30. I'll actually watch that game in Gulf Shores with some friends. But, if Alabama gets by Tennessee, if they win the game, I don't think it's going to be a 7.5-point line. If they lose the game, I know it's not going to be 7.5 in Tuscaloosa. LSU, like you said, I got to worry about LSU. Saturday night, execute everything done. They're probably going to get a lot of players in the second half that don't always get in, and then take you a couple days off, then prepare for Alabama and go over there. You still have a great shot to win the West. You do need Ole Miss to lose to somebody. They play Auburn tomorrow. I don't know if Auburn can beat them, but you never know. And they'll slip up with somebody, so. But LSU can't worry about that. You got to worry about LSU, let other things do what they got to do. And if LSU takes care of business, perhaps the other things work their way out.
All right, TK, tell us about Tremonti's before we get out of here.
Well, they got the deer and game processing. We're doing all that now. Got people turning it. We had one come in the other day. So if you're a deer hunter, you're into all of that or any wild game, they've been doing that here for a long time. They do a great job. All your tailgate party packages for high school football, for LSU homecoming weekend, the whole bit. You can get it all here. Small group, large group, it doesn't matter. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood, Jefferson Highway in Baton Rouge. Hit them up on Facebook and Instagram.
Check us out tomorrow morning, 10 to noon on Sports Shorts Radio. That's 1045 ESPN Radio in Baton Rouge. You can download the app, listen anywhere in the world. We'll deep dive into Michigan allegations that they were potentially cheating and sending out a scout to go investigate teams. We'll deep dive more into the LSU Army and what's going on, all the pomp and circumstance around that. Some more New Orleans Saints reaction. Joel Davis, who's going to join us tomorrow at 10:30, is out beside himself with frustration about the Saints. We'll get into that tomorrow as well.
And one other thing is expected a couple of hours from now, LSU Board of Supervisors will approve a new contract for Jay Johnson, 7 years, $12.5 million. That's a couple of bucks under $1.8 million a year. He'll be under contract through 2030. There are also some incentives. He got $100,000 winning the national championship last year on top of everything. $100,000.
By the way, 22 years ago, Skip Bertman retired from LSU, never made more than $300,000 as the head coach at LSU. And here we are 21 years later, 1.8 with a long-term deal. Unbelievable.
And a staff making really good money, too. So
you got
the staff's making way more than Skip made.
The top two assistants making more. Yeah. All right, TJ, we'll see you tomorrow for more Sports Coach Radio. Until then, everybody, please like it and have a great